party.
It's about time,
It's
Chief.
about time for about time.
With East Vic Roller Derby, the Witches of East Vic versus Latrobe City Megahertz. Now, what we need to qualify here is that both leagues, while having trained for some time, are fairly fresh leagues. It's their second bout.
Yeah,
generally.
these guys are newbies, so don't look at them with the same kind of eyes. I know they're probably going to try and kill me after I just called them all newbies. But they're all the way out in Moe.
Yeah, East Vic, another young
Yeah.
league, training now at the Shed in Dandenong. Both leagues are fairly young, which is a marked difference from what you might have seen last week with number 1 and number 2.
Exactly. You can't be looking at the same sort of lenses that you normally look at, sort of say VRDL or whatnot. But having said that, it is really still good to watch some of these derby games, and they're still absolutely exciting games. So,
Chief, I was there. It was some hot derby. There were some fantastic people to watch out for. Some jammers from both sides, definitely. All the way out at Stadium 34 in Moe.
hot derby.
Hot derby.
Sounds like freezing cold derby.
I needed a few beers to warm myself up, that's for sure. But
mildly toasted.
so
derby.
you'll see, a number of fantastic new players and some, somewhat vets, and also some team members from other leagues just making up those numbers to fill out the travel teams.
Oh, as you've got to do at the start of a league, you've got to sometimes sort of space it out a bit with other people and whatnot. But I haven't seen these guys, so let's watch it together because I'm really super psyched to watch these guys play.
Definitely. Let's check it out.
Steph Richard has called no pack, and the jammers start immediately. Jammers on there, very big lady there for the Witches, looking to get her way past. And she's down. On the outside there for the Megahertz. Our first jammer, TN Teagues, looks like she's caused a major and is going to be in the box. This leaves jammers on, the sole jammer. And also means that the Witches can get some really quick points on the board while TN Teagues is in the bin.
This is quite a great start for the Witches of Eastwick.
Megahertz looking to shut that right down. But Fanboy calls it. Points on the board there for the Witches as the pack slows right down and Jamazon looks for a way past. Good defense there from the Megahertz. With the Witches lined up on the side to get her clear. And she's free and clear. Grand slam there for Jamazon. Not the best start for the Megahertz, but it's early time in the game. 21 minutes left in the half.
They seem to still be doing their best, putting up their blocking.
With TN Teagues having to spend that 1 minute in the bin, and Jamazon comes back around to re-engage the pack. Good defense there from the Megahertz. And we have two jammers back on the track. TN Teagues looking to score some points for the Megahertz now with Jamazon right behind her. Hits the pack. Lots of rough stuff in there. TN Teagues muscling her way past the wall of purple now.
That was the end of the first jam. Once again, it looks like it'll start off as a no pack with a very fast start.
For the second jam, jamming for the Witches, Screw Barrymore and 608 Tasha Larasa. And they're away on the outside.
Straight through that pack.
Tashla still stuck in the pack looking for a way past. Great defense there. Screw really coming back around to re-engage the pack for her scoring pass now. Good defense there from the Witches. Tashla's clear. She needs to get a scoring pass though. Jammer on jammer action. Great work there. Screw hits the back of the pack, runs into some spirited defense there from the Megahertz. Pushed out, has to re-engage. Free and clear. And a commanding lead there. The whistle blows with Blondage and looks like push-up Ra there, or 131?
That's Crystal Diva.
A little bit of
Very
shuffling on the
slow
line
pack
there.
stuff.
Very slow pack start, as you mentioned there, Yogi. With no one in the bin, it just looks like they're stalling to me. Skaters must move over that line as Stiff Richard calls where the pack is. The pack must stay together for blockers to be able to block legally, and they're away. Blondage on the inside, Diva on the out.
Some big hits there from Ethel Knoll.
Looks like that training has paid off as Crystal Diva really brushed out of the pack there. Followed fairly closely by Blondage. Also, last bout for Blondage for this season at least. And she's through. It's called. Points on the board there for the ladies in red. Crystal makes it clear and calls that jam off with a chopping motion to her hips. Remember, only the lead jammer can call the jam off. So it becomes very tactical where the other jammer is. By moving backwards from the blocker line, they break the pack up, and it means that only one whistle needs to blow before those jammers are away. There we go, lots of tussling in there. Screw gets clear. Both jammers clear of the pack now, but our lead jammer is Screw Barrymore for the Witches. Extended, but down and back up again, giving the Hertz a bit of an advantage there, if they can take it.
She seems to make her way through that pack like nothing else, just like water going through a crack.
TN Teagues on the jam line with Crystal Diva again, lining up, jamming for the Witches. Witches take a knee, breaking that pack up. Boom! There she goes. Crystal Diva cuts through on the inside, looking really good. Some great performance there from the Witches, Yogi. I believe you trained with them.
Yeah, but sadly they won't give me any of their secrets.
Teagues has now made it clear of the pack. Not lead jammer, though. With Crystal Diva looking to her bench manager or bench coach for some guidance. Hits the pack, but cuts through on the inside. Needs to rejoin the pack where she left it. It's only fair. As TN Teagues makes it clear. As both jammers, with points on the board, come around for another scoring pass. Hit the pack almost simultaneously. Jumps the apex. On the inside, very nice work. As the Witches pack right up and make it really hard for TN Teagues.
Just showing that a little spill early on doesn't mean a thing. She can still get through that pack.
She's pretty tough there and about to catch up with Teagues, but she calls it. And we're away for the next jam as the Hertz cross the line. And there's the whistle. Jammers are away. Tasha Larasa for the Megahertz. Big hit on the outside there.
Screw Barrymore really getting through that pack.
Fanboy calls it. She's looking pretty strong there. Tasha Larasa still messing around in the scrum there. Good defense there from Witches, but Tasha is through. Great defense there from the Megahertz. Screw Barrymore trying to call it off as she wobbles around on the outside of the track there. As we've cleared things up and we're about to start the next jam. Peter Gonzalez and Jamazon jamming for the Hertz and the Witches. Might be cold on the track, but it's some hot derby, at least until we get started. Crawling over the line, Sailor Malsady yelling at her team to get going as the jammers are away.
Those Megahertz blockers have made up a wall.
For the Megahertz, we have a lead jammer. Now in a commanding position, Petey Gonzalez makes it clear. Jamazon also clear of the pack as Petey Gonzalez re-engages. Clear and some points. Clawing back a lead there, and there's going to be some points on the board for the Megahertz. So if you want to relive all the thrills and spills of this match, get online and watch fansofderby.com. As they're away, and great defense there from the Hertz from Kaboom.
It almost looked like Crystal Diva was through there, but bang, she got blocked down.
There you go, with one of her last bout, Blondage for the Megahertz. Lots of crowd noise there. We love to see that blonde lady go. Re-engaging the pack and making it look pretty easy.
Calling it off.
Closing the gap there now. Oh, it's early days yet, that's for sure. TNTs for the Megahertz. No pack called and the Jammers are away. Screw running into a stiff opposition there, but on the inside for the Witches.
That was a huge Megahertz wall, and I don't know how she does it, but she always seems to find her way through.
Teagues looking for a whip. Oh, but it looks like the Megahertz Jammer TNT has committed a major, and he's in the bin for 1 minute. With Screw Barrymore calling off that jam. Whistle is blown, and Seven Deadly Lens on the outside makes it clear for the Megahertz.
Oh, bit of a tumble there.
There's your team captain, Seven Deadly Lens. Gonna score some points for the Megahertz, look like. Jamazon now trying to close that gap. There you go, Seven Deadly Lens. Calls it perhaps a little too late. I think there might be some points on the board for both players or both teams there.
Ads
Ads are coming. We're going to have to take a break. And because both of us need to go to the toilet, and I suggest you do the same. Come back to watch the action after the break.
Ads. Grab the cookies!
Oh, thank God.
Oh, back on pound.
You're watching Latrobe City Megahertz versus the Witches of East Vic in Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Shh. Try and watch.
Okay, let's get back to it.
Blondage on the line for the Megahertz with 131. Crystal Diva. A good matchup. Blondage looking for a way on the outside. Oh, it looks good for the Megahertz. Here we go. The tall lady with the blonde hair is about to re-engage the pack. Rough stuff, boom, from the Witches. Oh. Looks like Crystal Diva scraped through there for some points. Can Linz and Hot Lips Rangahan hold back that jammer? And they're away. Megahertz jammer makes it away. There you go. That looks like Petey Gonzalez.
Megahertz giving some really good blocking right there.
We have some Megahertz blockers rejoining the pack, and a quick 4 points there for the Megahertz, clawing their way back. Lining up now with the Megahertz jammer in the bin. The Witches Jammers on the inside.
Making a way through that pack.
Commanding position there for the Witches with Petey Gonzalez stewing in the bin. Desperate defense there from the Megahertz. Good work there, but Jamazon's clear. And about to come back for another scoring pass, as it looks like another Witch is being sent to the bin for 1 minute, and that is a salt and pepper stewing. As the refs call it, Jamazon makes her way through. There you go. And it's a grand slam, of course, because the Megahertz jammer is in the bin. Coming back around, hitting in that wall of red. Defense there from the Megahertz. Oh, it's not good news for the Hertz as Jamazon gets a great grand slam there and calls it off. Still with the Megahertz Jammer in the bin. With Peter Gonzalez now standing and waiting for her way back into the pack.
Stiff Richards calling no pack situation.
Crystal, a great work there from Tasha Larasa.
Some heavy hits around that apex.
And we have a lead jammer straight out of the bin and into lead jammer status. That's Peter Gonzalez. Chased hard there by Crystal Diva as both skaters are about to hit that pack, get some points. Screw on the outside. Looks like she just got on the outside there. And that's a cut track there for Screw Barrymore. Looks like Fanboy had his eye on the proceedings there. This gives Seven Deadly Lins a chance to score some points there. But no,
She's been sent off.
we cannot have no jammers on the track. So this means that Screw Barrymore will be released immediately. And Lins will spend the same amount of time that Screw spent in the bin. Oh, Yogi, it was looking good there for the Megahertz for a second, but something happened with Lins. Screw Barrymore now coming around for her. Got another scoring pass there, as called by Fanboy. Some defense there from the Megahertz. Chased hard by the Megahertz there.
Which just seemed to really find those small gaps in the pack.
Agility is often key. As, bad news for the Megahertz there with Seven Deadly Lins back in the bin. Looks like a cut track there. Remember, you must skate within bounds. As Screw re-engages and hits some great defense there from the Megahertz, but she's clear.
This is giving the Witches such an amazing opportunity to really rack up those score points on the board.
Commanding work there for Screw Barrymore for the Witches as the jam timer counts right down now. As we begin our lineup
Game on!
for the next jam for EVRD. It's Bash and Bronco, I believe, first time jamming for East Vic. With Seven Deadly Lins for the Megahertz still in the bin and waiting for a time to be released. Bronco looking for a way on the outside, but stopped by Peter Gonzalez. Now going on the inside, but there's a wall of red there, really trying to stop it. Great work from TNTs. Chased hard by a Megahertz. Oh, popped down.
Megahertz really seem to have lifted their game with their defense right there.
Yes, chasing hard there. You can engage as a blocker up to 20 feet in front or behind the pack.
Any more than that, and you are out of play.
It's not a good game for Seven Deadly Lins here as she gets another cut track and gets popped back in the bin. It's really going to hurt the Megahertz. Another minute with their jammer, their jammer in the bin. Bash and Bronco, bit of a workhorse there, about to hit the back of the pack. On the outside. Chased hard there by Megahertz, but Bash and Bronco gets clear again.
Seems to really be taking her time through that pack.
Good defense there.
Really finding her way through.
Oh, she made it look easy that time. Number 8 for the Witches of Eastwick, Bash and Bronco, getting some points on the board. And the Witches have just done a ton now on 111 points. Really breaking away there. Stiff Richard calls the pack. As Bash and Bronco desperately tries to stay in there. Some great work. There we go. Where are the jammers? It looks like, there we go, 7
There's
deadly
one for
limbs.
Megahertz.
One for the Megahertz with Bash and Bronco in the penalty box. Here's a chance for the Megahertz to do it if Bash and Bronco can stay within bounds. We have a lead jammer now for the Megahertz. She really wants to make her way around that pack and hit it hard. Booyah! There you go for the Megahertz. Finally, 7 deadly limbs starts to score some points. The pack is static, and Linz hits it. Looks like she's got some trouble this time.
No, she
Clear.
makes her way through straight away, putting those points back on the board.
Here we go for the Megahertz. They've got at least half a minute left to score some points before the jammer gets the Witches jammers back on board. There's our little pocket rocket Ethel Knoll in the bin for the Witches for 1 minute as Linz is still really trying to muscle her way past. Witches not letting her through that wall. And there's Tasha Larasa popping out Bash and Bronco there with both jammers back on the track now.
Bash and Bronco really fighting her way through the pack there.
Yeah, some great work there from the Megahertz putting her out. Linz on the inside. Really having some hard work there from the Witches. Bash and Bronco about to hit the pack for a scoring pass, but she calls it. Good work there from
Deadly
7
Linz
Deadly Linz.
calling the pack off. Calling the jam off, rather.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Game's back on.
As the Witches break the pack up there. Blondage and Jamazon jamming Blondage for Megahertz, looking to really muscle away on the inside, but hit some stiff opposition there from the Witches. Can't spot Jamazon. There she is. Oh, there we go. It's all legal. Jamazon is ready to make a scoring pass. Blondage desperately trying to make her way through, but a big hit there from a Salt and Pepper, and she's back in the bin, or in the bin for the first time. No good for the Megahertz there with Jamazon now ready to score some points. Oh, a bit of maybe a cut track there, but I don't know if nobody even noticed. There's Jamazon now getting a grand slam for the Witches. Punching right above their weight now on 128 points. Megahertz just to be trying to stop her, but it's not going to happen. With Jamazon, the big lady, making her way around for yet another Grand Slam pass. Megahertz packing up. Popping down Razorback there. And popped out on the outside by one of our Megahertz.
Seems to really be hurting the Megahertz points on the board, but Jamazon has just been called off.
This leaves Blondage to claw back some points with not a lot of time left in this jam. Hits the pack, goes to one knee, straight back up again. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you notice those girls go down, but they just spring up so quickly. Very fit. But that's no good. Might have been, well, it looks like a back block called there for Blondage.
Well, they're going to hate this, giving the Witches back their jammer.
That's no good. As we run out of time on that jam. Blondage still spending quite a bit of time in that bin as we get a new lineup. Gonna hurt the Hertz here. So the Witches cast their spell over the proceedings.
Not much time left on the
Less
on the
than
board.
1 minute left. We will have a full jam if that happens. And we've got 1-3-1
Crystal Diva.
for the Witches. Solid lineup there for the Megahertz. You'll notice that the Witches are going to let her free and clear. But she takes a tumble and is back up again. Helped out on the outside by her teammates. Chased hard. The Megahertz just couldn't stop her. Crystal Eva comes around for a scoring pass now. Hits a wall of red.
Ooh.
Yeah, some great work there. Great work there from the Megahertz. She's straight back up again. And we've got points called by our referee, Fanboy. Diva calls it.
Calls it off just as
Because
the Megahertz jammer made her way through the pack.
bench coach Oriental Express.
All right, guys, that's some roller derby. I tell you what, I've got a little challenge for you guys. These Brad breaks aren't that long, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold our breath until the derby comes back. That's all.
Okay, so we've still got the Witches of Eastvic leading
Yeah.
against Latrobe City Roller Derby. Can LCRD come back? Well, let's find out.
The whistle blows, and the pack edges their way past. Steph Richard calling the pack there, and they're really making a slow day of it. We like to see them go fast, but sometimes there's just some tussling in the pack there as they begin to make their way across that line. And they're clear. Teagues and Jamazon hitting the pack, and Jamazon right on the outside as if the pack wasn't even there. Teagues working hard. Jamazon about to engage for her scoring pass for the Witches. Running a bit of opposition there, but she's clear. And
Tashula Rasa up against Screw Barrymore.
the whistle blows and they're away. As a pivot goes down for the Witches, and Tashula Rasa on the outside, but there's the Witches jammer.
She's on your own team, dude.
Looking good for Screw Barrymore, about to hit a wall of red. Great defense there from the Megahertz. And there's Teagues for the Megahertz. Gets a scoring pass there. Ladies in red putting some points on the board. As Screw Barrymore calls that jam. Nice little jam there, nice and tidy. Lasted all of 33 seconds. And they're away.
Calling a no pack with the jammers making their way straight through.
Crystal Diva out fast, but looks like she's not the lead jammer because of a back block. Fanboy calling lead jammer for the Megahertz as Crystal Diva is about to hit for a scoring pass, but that's not going to happen.
Strategically calling that jam off before Crystal Diva can score any points.
Looks like Salim Al-Saidi, bench coach, saw what was happening and decided to finish the proceedings.
If anybody was around during the Great Southern Slam, short can really come in handy.
It doesn't matter how big or small you are, it's how fast and how agile you are. And that's the example there with Tashula Rasa for the Megahertz. Coming around for a scoring pass for the Megahertz. Hits the pack. Rough stuff in there. Jamazon also now clear. Tashula Rasa now trying to muscle their way past. Great defense there from the Witches. Must re-enter the pack where you got popped out. And things slowed right down there for Tashula, so she just called it off. As the whistle blows for the next jam, and they slowly make their way past, ready to drop over that line where the next two whistles will blow. And they're away. Screw Barrymore and Blondage hitting the pack there. Good defense there from Ethel Knoll for the Witches. And there's Screw. Clear. Blondage really having some hard times getting through the pack there.
Witches seem to have increased the defense this time around.
It's like that wall just got higher and harder. Oh, on the inside there. Screw Barrymore. Again, a strong showing. It's like the Megahertz didn't know she was there. Really pushing it there with also with the megahertz. One blocker down. Blondage now clear. But wisely, Screw Barrymore calls it off and gets some more points on the board there for the Witches of East Vic. Training out in Bayswater, I believe, Yogi.
Bayswater and Dandenong. Mostly Bayswater.
It's very much East Victoria, out in the wilds. Lining up now, Crystal Diva for the Witches. And Tasha Larasa for the Megahertz. Big hit there from the Megahertz onto Crystal Diva, but she makes it back in. We have a lead jammer, and it's an East Vic, a Witch of East Vic. Hard work there for Tasha as she really tries to make her way through. Popped out again with great defense. Oh, there we go. East Vic jammer. Once again, making it through that pack.
Megahertz jammer is down and out. Sent to the sin bin.
1 minute in the bin. That is the Megahertz. I'm gonna hurt again because Crystal Diva is really watching her way through there. Good defense there from DeBrise's right.
This is really gonna hurt the Megahertz.
Yeah, some scrappy derby there with only 2 Megahertz on the track, making it real easy for the Witches.
Crystal Diva skating straight through that pack.
Looks like Razorback's the only one left there. Oh, and does some good work, but it's not enough. As the Megahertz team blockers begin to pack right up again. Crystal Diva coming through. Oh, nice work. Like smoke there for East Vic. Grand slams there for East Vic. Really putting the points on that lead there. Steph Richard calls it. Looks like we're about to line up for the next jam. Lots of Megahertz in the bin, but it looks like they'll probably be out pretty soon. Jamazon's going to make the most of it. Going on the outside. Megahertz trying to stop her, but she's clear.
Jamazon quickly making her way through the pack, then with the Witches putting up quite a wall.
Great defense there with Tashula still trying to make her way through to get ready for a scoring pass. That's the big fall, and both skaters take a little bit of time to get back up again. Tashula starts to close the gap. There's Jamazon scoring pass there for the Witches. And we're going to get a sub in for the Megahertz. On the line now, Screw Barrymore, and for the Megahertz, if I can see there.
K-Boom.
Both jammers clear of the pack, and Screw Barrymore are about to hit. Oh, dodges right around. Very agile player there, Screw Barrymore. It's been a real asset to the Witches tonight. As Megahertz rejoin the track, Screw Barrymore through again. Getting very close to 200 points now. Tashula Raza for the Megahertz. And Crystal Diva for the Witches. The whistle has blown and they're away with the Megahertz severely depleted. 2 players in the bin. Crystal Diva looking for a way on the outside. Scoots to the inside and past.
Skipping her way around the inside there.
Just about
making it through the pack.
Oh, she's out.
She is out.
Called very wisely by our jammer ref there. This means that Tashula Raza has a chance to get some points back now for the Megahertz. Pack slows right down. Tashula on the outside. On the inside, chased hard. There you go. Tashula Raza for the Megahertz.
Let's hear some real noise. Hear your support for the Megahertz. This is when they need it most.
Seeing a grand slam there for Tashula Raza. Spirited defense there as she gets around again. More points on the board for the ladies in red from Electric City, Latrobe City. Come back around, big wall of purple there. Looking for around the outside. Great work from her team, but put out.
Whoa.
Oh, low block there for 09, and she's
Nato
out.
Nine Tails.
Tasha Laraza coming through again for another scoring pass. That's the way for Tasha Laraza. Bench coach Salem Al-Saidi calling it there as the Megahertz begin to claw some points back with 17 minutes on the clock. Lining up now is Petey Gonzalez and
Push Up Ra.
Is this Push Up Ra's first jam, I think?
For tonight, I think you
First
may be
jam.
right.
Yep. There's some ladies out as we have a lead jammer for the Megahertz. It's all starting to come good there for the ladies in red. Petey Gonzalez, big defense there from the Witches. Smashed down by Red Weiner. And on the inside, 351. Ooh, just gets popped out and has to rejoin the pack. Oh, and it's going to hurt for the Megahertz again with their jammer in the bin for 1 minute. Inching her way through is the Witches lead jammer. Great defense there from the Megahertz. There we go.
Megahertz jammer gone to the penalty box, but their blockers are really putting up some great defense.
With Petey Gonzalez in the bin for 1 minute. And she's through again. Grand slam there for 351.
Push Up Ra.
Hits the pack again and muscles her way through, but goes down to some Megahertz blocking. Rough stuff in there, really mixed up. The pack's not sure what's going on, but the jammers are looking for a way past. For East Vic there. Push Up Ra getting some more points on. It all shuts down, but it all starts back up again as she hits the pack. There you go. More
Breaking
points.
through the wall that time, seeing the tiniest gap and skating straight through it.
And we're out of time. That was the full jam, full 2 minute jam there. TNT's there for the Megahertz. Salt and Pepper pushes out in front there. Gets them really way clear for Screw Barrymore for East Vic. TNT's also clear. Screw Barrymore low and fast. About to re-engage that pack.
All the players are right in front of us, yet I still don't know how she does it. She finds the smallest gap and makes her way through that pack.
It was really good work. I saw a Salt and Pepper there just bust a hole. It was really fantastic work there. It's all about the blockers, making holes and just denying opportunities.
What just happened there?
I've got it right here in the rules.
Okay,
A false start, a jammer or blocker who falls to...
I'm not really not sure what's going on. We've got Latrobe City trailing East Vic. Can they come back? Let's see for some more after this.
Tuning in. You guys are watching Power Jam.
The bout is Hit Me With Your Best Shot, and we're watching Latrobe City Megahertz versus the Witches of East Vic.
Let's get back in there, Artie.
Crystal Diva making her way through the pack there, becoming lead jammer.
With the Megahertz jammer also clear, a little bit of adjustment of her safety gear. Looking to close that gap as, she skates through on the outside. Was that a cut track? Not sure. Looks like she's called it. Can she do some good jamming tonight as she changes position? Tiny but Mighty is our Ethel Knoll versus 761 for the megahertz. As the blockers make their way over the line, Steph Richard calling where that pack is. You'll notice his hands held out. Bash and Bronco finally over the line. Jammer on jammer there with K-Boom popping Ethel out. K-Boom right up the front there for the megahertz. Great defense there, but K-Boom chased hard by Ethel Knoll. Jammer on jammer. Great work, about to hit the pack. Oh, great defense there from the Witches.
Both teams put up a really hard wall, stopped both players dead.
Ethel Knoll, not lead jammer. Hitting the pack again though, Ethel Knoll skating through, very agile. Looking really good for East Vic. See, looks like she called it there, jams off. But I think that's some more points there for East Vic. Now on at 224 to the megahertz on 80. Let's keep it clean and legal, ladies.
Game back on.
And we're away. As the Witches move right up to the blocker line there, no pack called. A great run start there from Crystal Diva, just tucked through on the outside.
Making her way through that pack as if it didn't exist.
And we've got...
And then sent off.
Yeah, it was too good to last, really. So here we go with the Blondage, ready to get some Grand Slam here. Big hit there from Red Winer. There we go, Blondage, the lady in the blonde. Coming back around for another scoring pass on her Grand Slam pass. The Witches put up some defense, but there we go. Hitting it there. Skating like she stole something for the megahertz. That's a Blondage. Hit the Witches again. All sorts of spells. Can't stop her. And she calls it. Fanboy jams that whistle in his mouth and calls the jam off. And as they try to really string that time out, the slow starts sometimes let a jammer or blocker in the bin time to get back on track, as they're really just taking their time to get across the track. And that's Ethel Knoll there, finally across the road, and that puts two jammers back. Oh, big hit there.
Big hit there as well. Both jammers seem to have been taken out.
Ethel Knoll out on a major.
But no, Crystal Diva gets back up and makes her way back through the pack.
Once again, lead jammer for the Witches of East Vic. And Peter Gonzalez looking to close that gap. Two Witches in the bin again. Popped out there, and hello to the audience on the suicide line as you got a skater in your lap.
We told you suicide line was the best place to sit. Are we wrong?
There she goes. Crystal Diva, fantastic work there for the Witches. Going to get some points on the board again. Really punching that lead. As they're away. Blondage running into some real opposition there, as is Jamazon. Blondage looking for a way on the outside. Great defense there from Ninetails, number 9. There we go. Blondage once again. Oh, it's not
Megahertz
good.
really putting a fight up there, but Jamazon still makes her way through that pack.
That's going to hurt with Blondage on her way out, and that's number 81. Pack slows right down.
Jamazon taking her time to find a little...
As we have a little bit of Greco-Roman wrestling in the pack there. Witches blocker back on the track, Ethel Knoll, and that's another Witch. It's like musical chairs there as Witches come in and go out onto the bin. Someone went on their ass, and that's the Jammer's on.
Quickly back up again, though.
Straight back up again, not letting it slow it down at all. Hit the pack there, hit a wall of red and gold. Not letting her through. She calls it. Steph Richards saying everything's good to go. We're ready to start. 2 witches in the bin and 1
Both
megahertz.
jammers in the bin.
Both jammers in the bin. We cannot have a situation with no jammers, so Blondage is back on ASAP as they clear the line. With the witches really taking their time, trying to spin that time out. As Blondage is back on track. Chopper and Wedwiner going to try and stop her as she looks very carefully for a way past. Punches it.
Oh, quite a tumble there.
There you go, Blondage. So close to being expelled, but getting the lead jammer for Megahertz. Hit the pack again, and now some struggles there. The team's in front looking to get her through. Oh, chased hard. Well done, Witches, but Blondage is back up again. Good work there from Blondage.
Quite a big hit from a Salt and Pepper.
And Chopper as well, chasing hard as she comes back around to re-engage and calls it. Let's hear it for Blondage, ladies and gentlemen. 2 jammers in the bin. With jammers on for the Witches about to re-enter. There's the blockers packing up. Great defense there from the Megahertz. Doesn't stop jammers on though. She's too strong. Big step there from the Megahertz. Jammers on makes her way through. 30 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen, as Jammers on comes back around. I don't know if the Megahertz jammer is going to make her way back on the board. Jammers on the outside, about to hit 7 deadly lins. It's not going to happen. Jammers on, free and clear for the Witches of Eastwick.
She calls off the jam.
With 10 seconds left in the bout. Steph Richard calls it as we're about to start what is probably and most likely the last jam of tonight, ladies and gentlemen. No pack is called, and the skaters are away. Looking for a way past, some great defense there from the Megahertz, but she's clear. Push up Ra.
Making her way through that pack, but getting called off for a cut track major.
There's a turn up for the books, and that means Hot Lips Ringahan is back on the track with a final jam for the Megahertz. Back after an injury and about to hit the track. There's Hot Lips.
Literally hitting the track.
Hit the track really hard there. She needs to bring it back out. 1 minute to get some points there for the Megahertz as that monster fit lady is looking for a way past. 1 more witch to go. And that's a Salt and Pepper. Popped out. It's got to get back in. Salt and Pepper tactically popping her right back in the pack there. Slows everything down, slows all the momentum. Oh, Salt and Pepper just all over the place. Like, you just can't get past her. 4077 for the Megahertz. Running into some really stiff opposition. Where are the Megahertz? With some witches in front. As all of them are looking really strong. Popping around. And that's putting the East Vic Jammer back on the track.
Push up Ra back on the track. Getting through that wall.
For East Vic, not lead jammer. With 4077 trying to make her way through. Lots of skaters in the bin now with not much time left back on the clock.
Quite a big hit there from a Salt and Pepper.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Last jam of the last half. That's time. Let's hear it for the Witches of East Vic.
putting up such an amazing fight. Latrobe City Roller Derby's Megahertz.
Make your way up to the track, ladies and gentlemen, to slap the hand of your favourite skater. All of these ladies have put in a fantastic performance tonight.
What a game, Artie.
There you go. Witches of East Vic, resounding victory there. 253 to 121 for the Megahertz.
I'd like to say that was close, but it just wasn't.
They did really try, and definitely for the Megahertz, I saw Peter Gonzalez definitely, and maybe Deadly Lynn's a little bit earlier on were pretty good.
There was also a bit that we didn't necessarily show in the game, which was Blondie. She got ejected from the game coming towards the end there. So.
7 majors, you're out, lady.
Yep, it's a harsh world.
Go and leave the venue.
Yeah.
So that was what's the name of this bout?
Yeah, we finally found the name of the bout. Hit me with your
Best shot, which was pretty
Right there in front of
fantastic
it.
out there in Moe. Next week.
Next week.
What do we
Next
got?
week we got Geelong face-off bout, which you're not going to want to miss. It's the Atom Bombs versus Psychotics. Those guys are a really well evenly matched.
Atom
couple of
Bombs in the
teams.
camo, Psychotics in the blue, the electric blue. Some really fantastic teams. And also tonight,
Yeah, if you've got some time, get down to Bendigo.
at a car
Yeah, and a car. You can't walk to Bendigo unless you're already there.
for the Western
Then go watch
Regionals, which is what we're playing, which is part of the Western Regionals, which is a lot of regional teams. Geelong, Ballarat, Bendigo will be playing each other in an ongoing tournament.
Sounds interesting.
And so
Artie.
tonight is a big double header. We've got the 2 Geelong teams versus the Dragon City Derby Dolls versus Ballarat, and with Ballarat BRDL. So it's a big
value for money if you're
big-
down Bendigo way.
big
two
night of
bouts.
Derby out in the country, that's for sure. So
What a great day. What a great episode. Get out there. It's Saturday afternoon. Get amongst it. We'll be back here next week, 2:30 to 4 o'clock.
I believe so for Power Jam and another fantastic bout.
Thanks for watching, guys.